Alf, what if the Pokemon Company has a very interesting strategy that's not public that Pokemon card collectors, investors, they don't know it, but they are executing it behind the scenes and we're watching it play out now.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
We heard recently that there will be reprints, Prismatic, Journey Together, and maybe a couple of other products possibly, but the one thing that was interesting is it didn't sound like there was going to be any new booster boxes printed. And for a lot of the Pokemon holders, the investors, if you will, really speculators. I don't know if an investor is the word thrown around in the community. Speculation. Everyone's speculating on Pokemon cards. But if they're not going to create additional booster boxes the same way they have in previous years, that of course adds mystique to that particular collectible with these new products. Will they continue to do this? And to me, honestly, this would be the perfect strategy to make everybody happy if you think about it. That the Pokemon Company doesn't necessarily have to come out and say it, but from the standpoint of that they always say, their public-facing statements are always about collectors. And hey, we want to make sure that we're printing enough so that collectors and people that want to open the product and enjoy it, we want to make sure that there is enough for them, right? That's what it always, I remember going back to the pandemic, 2020, 2021, it was the big statement about scalpers and people getting in and buying it all up and hoarding it and how they needed to print more. Well, one way they could make both camps happy, because let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
The Pokemon Company really likes the fact that there are these speculators, investors, even though they will not say that publicly. I believe that they like it because it drives demand for their product. And let's face it, I mean, they want to sell product. Right now, demand at all-time highs, probably not really showing any signs of slowing down, but there's no guarantees. You know, they've got competition. Well, One Piece is coming up, Magic the Gathering. Pokemon has always done really well with just handling print runs, handling that supply-demand side of things. But don't kid yourself, they are happy about the fact that there are people that also buy and hoard, collect sealed product. They want everyone to be able to buy the product, open it, the trading cards, that is, but they want to make everybody happy here. They want some scarcity with that product. They like the intrigue because it just creates more and more demand for their product, and they can feel comfortable about, hey, you know what? Pokemon is in demand. Love it. Pokemon card investing, a lot of it is based around singles, PSA 10s, if you will. Speaking of PSA 10s, I've got affiliate links to help you guys out, save some money. SED25 code at the shipping and billing screen at PSA for first-time submitters. Get you $25 off, just a one card minimum to try out PSA. I've also got, do we have the graphic? We've got slab mags, discounts, card caps, all the supplies. Make sure to take advantage of all the discounts we've got available for you. So it's singles, collectors, investors that are buying into PSA 10s a lot of times, or if it's vintage stuff, it doesn't need to be a PSA 10. The PSA 10 vintage stuff can get very expensive, of course. We've got the single speculators, and then we also have sealed product speculation. And they're one product, like that one collectible that everybody really scours the internet for and goes to all the shows for and is looking for, are booster boxes. Going all the way back in time to first edition booster boxes that go for crazy amounts of money. Everyone's chasing the holo Charizards, etc. So the collectible of choice for sealed holders is the booster box or the sealed case of booster boxes. That is it. That's the number one. And I don't really see that changing. So the Pokemon Company, if this is their strategy and they're not really telling anybody, they're just kind of doing it, because why would they tell anybody, frankly? Is they might just say, you know what, we're going to do tins and we're going to do, 3-pack blisters and we're going to release kind of these different types of products, but we're not going to do a ton of booster boxes for any of our new products. And then, of course, stuff goes out of print. And that makes all the investor folks happy, the sealed hoarders happy, because it doesn't mean that it's that particular product is being printed like crazy. It means that stuff remains somewhat scarce. Now, I know scarcity with Pokemon cards, look, they're printing 9, 10, 11 billion cards a year. It's not scarce. Let's not kid ourselves. But from the standpoint of just price action and, boxes being $100 or $200 or $500 or $1,000, it still means that there's enough demand, even though there are a lot of sealed holders that, all right, cool. So booster boxes, they're not going to just reprint booster boxes like crazy for 2.5 years. They'll just print other products, they'll create other products, and maybe kind of those first couple waves of booster boxes, that might be it. If you think about it from that standpoint, that adds kind of a fun chase element to this and really changes the game if you are an investor, if you're looking at this stuff long term. And also makes the older stuff, more appealing too, in my opinion. If booster boxes continue to be scarce as we move forward, if that is a type of product that they're like, you know what, we're just not going to print that a lot. We're going to print them, but we're not going to print more of them. We're going to bring out other types of products, premium collection boxes or whatever it's going to be. We're not necessarily going to bring out more booster boxes. That's going to make that particular collectible, I think it just heightens it. So let me know your thoughts, guys. I think this is actually huge news. Reprints are always something that get a lot of attention in that small period of time. The 2-3 months where there's a reprint and it feels like the supply has gone as crazy. And then just like that, it feels like that time passes and there's a shortage, or there's not enough to go around and people are upset. It just feels like with the demand the way that it is, and again, doesn't seem like it's slowing down at all. Booster boxes, could there be a shortage of booster boxes, not even just in the new releases, but then also as we look back, are people going to be looking for, booster, like in their mind, booster boxes more scarce? That is kind of the more investable collectible that you're hoarding over a long period of time. Now, we talked about, I think that Prismatic Evolutions, I talked about in my last video, being the #1 Scarlet Violet set. And I got some pushback. A lot of people love 151 and they want Destined Rivals. And actually, that's what brought this on too, because Destined Rivals is the one that's getting the reprint, but it's not booster boxes. And I have 0 Destined Rivals booster boxes. I actually have some 3-pack blisters that I got for cheap, but I have not been able to get any sort of Destined Rivals boxes that I feel are at kind of like a good enough price. And now I'm worried that it's like, okay, if they're not bringing out any more booster boxes, then that could be a box that does go up to $450, $500, $600. And do I want to get in at $500, $600? Maybe the answer is maybe in 5 years it's like, well, $400 or $500, that was cheap, should have got it. Or it could be in 5 years that box is $700, or it's $650, and it's like, okay, it's just kind of like sat there. It's gained a little bit, but it's just kind of sat there. I actually think Destined Rivals is going to be a really good product to have. And I'm upset that I didn't get it when it was a little bit less expensive, but it's not like it was cheap for a long time. I mean, it came out hot and it stayed pretty hot. People love that product. So if they're not going to make any more Destined Rivals booster boxes, and that's going to kind of kickstart, all these new products, they're not going to do it for those either, then that's news, man. That could be actually like a pretty big deal, because it does mean kind of a rush at the beginning of the launch, kind of the first 6 months of them bringing out a product. Booster boxes, there's no guarantee that during that next wave of print run stuff that they're going to keep bringing out boosters. It might be just a ton of tins. Nobody wants it. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.